The storm had already begun when Cole Ashford arrived at the Whitmore estate. Rain lashed against the windows, thunder rattled the ceilings, and every shadow seemed alive. He wasn't here for romance. He was here to protect Elara Whitmore, the billionaire heiress whose life had become a target. But protection was supposed to be simple. Bulletproof doors, security cameras, silent alarms. Predictable. Only nothing about Elara, or the dangers surrounding her, was predictable. Someone was hunting her. Someone who knew every move, every habit, every secret. The anonymous threats had started small, threatening letters, mysterious phone calls. Then escalated, shattered windows, strange faces in dark corners. And now, her father had disappeared, her supposedly dead brother had reappeared, and a shadowed force was orchestrating a game far bigger than anyone could see. Cole wasn't supposed to fall for her. He wasn't supposed to get pulled into family secrets, betrayals, or a labyrinth of power and deception stretching beneath the city. His only mission, keep her alive. Yet every heartbeat spent near her made one thing painfully clear. He couldn't protect her from himself, from the way he felt, or from the storm that was coming. And in a city that never slept, with enemies who could strike from anywhere, Cole realized, surviving tonight was only the beginning. Before we continue with the details, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more intriguing stories. No one warned Cole Ashford that guarding heiresses could feel like drowning. He'd been trained for danger, gunfire, shadows behind curtains, the metallic taste of adrenaline before a fight. But nothing prepared him for Elara Whitmore. Elara didn't glide through rooms the way the world imagined billion-dollar daughters did. She walked like she'd learned to hold herself together so tightly that if she loosened even a little, she might shatter. He was hired because someone wanted her gone. Anonymous letters. Pictures taken from impossible angles. Voices on the phone that said nothing and breathed too long. The firm sent its best, former military, disciplined, unshakable. Unshakable until she smiled. The first night he shadowed her, he watched her sit by the massive windows of her father's penthouse, staring out at a city glittering like a sky turned upside down. She hugged her knees like a child, though she pretended to be made of iron the moment she heard footsteps. "You don't have to pretend when it's just me," he said once, quietly. "That's exactly when I have to pretend," she whispered back. Days blurred into nights, two people orbiting danger, learning the map of each other's silences. He learned she hated thunderstorms but loved the smell of rain. She learned he collected tiny broken things, buttons, screws, snapped watch chains, because he believed everything damaged deserved a second chance. Feelings crept in like fog. Slow. Inevitable. One evening, after a near collision with a dark SUV that swerved toward them, adrenaline made Elara tremble so hard she could barely stand. He caught her, held her too long, too close, too much like a man who'd forgotten the rules. "You're safe," he breathed. "With you," she answered. And suddenly safety meant something terrifyingly fragile. The threats escalated. Windows shattered. Locks glitched. Cameras died at the same time every night. Whoever was hunting her wasn't just cruel, they were precise. When her father boarded his private jet and vanished, for business, Elara went silent. Cole noticed. He noticed everything. "Tell me what you're not saying," he demanded one storm-thick evening as lightning split the sky. Rain clattered against the mansion like angry fingers. "My father isn't who you think he is," Elara said, voice trembling. "And neither am I. This isn't random. It's punishment." Before he could push further, the power died. The house dropped into darkness. Cole shoved her behind him, gun ready, pulse raging. Footsteps echoed in the hall. Deliberate. Someone who knew the house better than either of them. "Elara," he whispered, "stay behind me. No matter what." A figure appeared in the doorway. Lightning flashed. For one blinding heartbeat, Cole saw the face. His hand faltered. Elara gasped. Because the person standing there wasn't a stranger. It was someone Elara loved. Someone who should never have been there. Someone who should never have been capable of hate. "Hello, Elara," the intruder murmured. "Miss me?" The gun in Cole's hand suddenly felt useless as a heartbeat thundered in his ears, Hers or his, he couldn't tell. Betrayal, love, danger, truth, all of it collided at once. And before Cole could move, the figure raised their weapon. And the world exploded into darkness again. The gunshot never sounded. Instead, a violent crash split the air, glass exploding inward, wind roaring like an animal unleashed. The storm outside seemed to break straight into the house, ripping through the lingering quiet. Cole lunged, tackling Elara to the ground as shards rained around them, a shower of glittering knives. Her breath hitched beneath him. His palm found her cheek. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head, though fear shone like a fever in her eyes. "Lewis." But the intruder was gone, vanished as if swallowed by the storm. Cole dragged Elara to the basement panic room, every motion precise, efficient, except his heart, which beat too fast, too human. Once the vault door sealed, Elara slumped against the wall. Her hands trembled. Not from shock, from recognition. "Tell me," Cole demanded gently but relentlessly. "Who was that?" Lightning flickered through the emergency slit window, painting her face in sharp, aching contrasts. Tears slid silently down her cheeks. "My brother," she whispered. The words cracked the air more violently than thunder. Cole had read the file. Her brother was dead. A tragic car accident 3 years ago. A memorial so lavish the press still quoted it. But files lie. People lie. Fathers lie. "He's alive." Cole's voice fell to a harsh whisper. "He shouldn't be," Elara choked. "He wasn't supposed," they said. Her breathing went uneven, panic tightening like a rope around her chest. "My father covered it up. There were experiments. Money moved to places no money should go. My brother volunteered. Then something went wrong. They hid him. They hid everything. But I knew. I always knew he wasn't gone, just lost." "And now he's hunting you," Cole said softly. "No," her gaze lifted to his, raw, burning. "He's not hunting me. He's warning me." Cole froze. "Warning you of what?" The panic room lights flickered, then died. A low hum filled the air. The vault door, designed to withstand explosions, fire, bullets, clicked. Unlocked. Impossible. Cole grabbed Elara, pulling her back as the handle slowly, deliberately, turned from the other side. Someone was overriding systems that weren't meant to be overridden. "Elara," Cole murmured, his body a shield again. His every instinct screamed to fight, to protect, to survive. But another voice, quieter, terrified, whispered that this was so much bigger than gunfire and shadows. The door inched open. A sliver of hallway revealed itself, and a silhouette stood there, haloed by emergency lights. Not her brother. Someone else. Someone even more dangerous. Elara's breath left her lungs. "Dad?" she whispered. Her father stepped into the doorway. Not frantic. Not apologetic. Cold. Like a man arriving exactly where he intended to be. "Step away from my daughter," he said to Cole, voice cutting through the air like a blade. "You've protected her long enough. Now you're going to help me finish what I started." Cole tightened his hold around Elara. "I'm not letting her go," he said. Elara's father smiled. It wasn't the smile of a grieving parent. It was the smile of a man who owned fate and was ready to rewrite it. And somewhere, deeper in the house, a second pair of footsteps approached. The footsteps were slow, measured, almost mocking. Cole's grip on Elara tightened. Every muscle in his body screamed that danger had just doubled. "Elara," he whispered, scanning the dim hallway, "stay behind me. Don't move." Her eyes, wide and terrified, met his. But she didn't flinch. Somehow, her fear was tempered by a strange, fierce resolve, like she was ready to face whatever her father had brought into their lives. Her father's smile never wavered. "You've done well keeping her safe, Cole. But now, it's time you understand who you're really protecting." From the shadows, a figure stepped forward. Not tall, not threatening in stature, but in presence. Cole's mind raced, heart hammering. The storm outside battered the building like it was in tune with the tension inside. "Who are you?" Cole demanded. The figure tilted their head, letting the light reveal a familiar face. A face Cole never thought he'd see again. Surprised, the figure said softly, almost amused. You weren't supposed to meet me yet, but fate has a way of pushing things forward. Elara's eyes widened, recognition and horror blending into a single expression. No, she breathed. It can't be. Cole took a step forward, shielding her. Elara, tell me who. Before she could answer, her father moved with shocking speed, a gun in his hand, aimed not at Cole, but at the figure. Stop! Cole shouted, but it was too late. The shot rang out. The hallway erupted in chaos. A blinding flash of light, a scream, then silence. Cole's ears rang. He scrambled forward, pulling Elara behind him, heart in his throat. The figure lay on the floor still. Or was it pretending? Elara's hands clutched at his chest. Suddenly, movement. A slow, deliberate rise from the floor. The figure's eyes glinted in the faint light, a mix of pain and something else, something unreadable. Elara, Cole whispered fiercely, step back. Now. Her father's calm, chilling voice cut through again. You've been protecting her, yes. But the game isn't over. You think you can stop me? You've only seen the opening moves. Cole looked from her father to the figure on the floor, then back at Elara. Her eyes were wide, raw, desperate. And at that exact moment, the lights went out. The panic room, the hallway, everything plunged into total darkness. A voice, metallic and distorted, echoed through the black. Time's almost up, Elara, and the choice is yours. Cole's heart froze. A choice. For her. For all of them. And in the darkness, only one thought hammered through his mind. Who would survive the next move? The darkness pressed against them like water, thick and suffocating. Cole could hear Elara's ragged breaths right against his chest, feel her trembling hands clutching his jacket. Every instinct screamed that the storm outside wasn't the only danger. They were trapped, exposed, and on someone else's timeline. Cole, her voice was a fragile thread. What do they mean? Choice? He had no answer. Only questions racing through his mind. Her father's calm, the figure on the floor, and that voice, too smooth, too deliberate, as if someone had rehearsed terror for years. Suddenly, a dim red glow illuminated the panic room's floor, a laser. Moving. Scanning. And then it settled on Elara's chest. Move and she dies, the voice said again. Not her father's. Not the figure on the floor. Someone else. Someone controlling everything from the shadows. Cole's pulse doubled. His hand went to his gun. Nothing but air met it. The weapon was missing. Taken. Elara, he hissed, pulling her behind him. Stay low. Don't. A heavy clunk reverberated from the ceiling above. Dust rained down. The laser dot shifted. She gasped, hitting the ground. Cole's mind raced. Her father, the figure, this unknown puppet master. Every piece was moving in a game he couldn't yet see. Elara, I need to know something, he said, his voice low, fierce. When I tell you to jump, will you trust me? She met his eyes. In the faint red glow, she looked unbreakable. Always, she whispered. And then, almost in answer, the floor beneath them shook violently. A hidden panel snapped open, revealing a chute leading down into darkness. Cole's heart sank. The escape, or the trap, was impossible to tell. But he had no choice. He grabbed Elara's hand. On 3, he said. What to? A sharp metallic clang echoed behind them. Her father's voice rang out again, calm, unyielding. You can't run from what you started. 3. They jumped. The chute swallowed them into darkness. The air whipped past, cold and suffocating, as if the building itself were trying to crush them. Then, abruptly, the chute ended. They fell into a cavernous underground space lit only by a single flickering light. Shadows stretched across walls lined with screens, hundreds of them, showing images of places Cole didn't recognize. Faces. Movements. Plans. A figure emerged from the shadows. Dressed in black. Elara Whitmore, the figure said, voice calm, measured, terrifyingly familiar. You finally arrived. Cole positioned himself in front of her. Who are you? The figure tilted its head, almost smiling. I've been waiting for you, both of you. But only one of you can leave here alive. Elara's hand found Cole's. His fingers tightened around hers, white-knuckled. Run, he whispered. No matter what, run. The figure raised a weapon. And then, from the shadows, a voice that made Cole's blood freeze. Elara, it's me. Don't listen to him. Cole's eyes darted to the source. And there, stepping from the darkness, was someone he never thought he'd see again. Someone who could change everything. A single word left Elara's lips, trembling. Why? The figure smiled. Because I never left. The lights flickered. And then everything went black. The darkness felt endless, pressing against Cole and Elara like a living thing. Cole could hear her breathing, fast, shallow, but steadying slightly when his fingers tightened around hers. Every nerve in his body screamed danger, and yet he couldn't stop scanning the shadows for the slightest movement. Then, a soft click echoed through the chamber. A single light flickered to life above them, revealing the figure in black, tall, imposing, and eerily calm. Cole instinctively stepped in front of Elara, heart pounding. You shouldn't have come here, the figure said, voice low, calculated. Not yet. Who are you? Cole demanded. And what do you want from her? The figure paused, tilting its head. Then, in a voice that made Cole freeze, they said one word. Elara. Her hand shot to her mouth. They can't be. The figure pulled back the hood. A face emerged, familiar yet twisted by time and secrecy. Cole's stomach dropped. He recognized that face from the screens in the underground room, the one that had haunted their nightmares, the one Elara had whispered about years ago. I told you I never left, the figure said, a faint smile playing at their lips. Elara's knees buckled, and Cole caught her before she hit the floor. Who are you? She gasped. The figure stepped closer. Your brother, they said simply. Cole's mind froze. The brother she thought dead. The one erased from records. Alive, standing here, and more dangerous than anything Cole had faced. Elara's tears fell freely now. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Her brother's eyes, sharp and unreadable, softened for just a fraction of a second. To make you see the truth about everything. Cole tightened his jaw. Elara, we don't have time for games. Tell me what he wants, now. Before anyone could answer, a loud metallic hum filled the room. Screens on the walls blinked, revealing schematics of the mansion, of city streets, and of people moving in patterns too precise to be random. Elara, her brother said, voice almost reverent now. You're not just being hunted. You're the key. And if we don't move, everyone, will die. Cole's gaze darted between her brother, Elara, and the blinking screens. Move where? Who else is involved? Before an answer could come, the floor beneath them shuddered violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. The lights flickered, and a deep, mechanical voice boomed from the shadows. Time is over. The screens all went black. A single panel in the wall slid open, revealing a long, descending tunnel illuminated by a blood-red glow. Cole looked at Elara. Her eyes mirrored his fear and determination. We have to go, he said. She nodded, voice barely audible. Together. As they stepped toward the tunnel, a hand shot out from the darkness behind them. Cole spun, gunless, ready to fight, and froze. Her father stood there, calm, impossibly calm, smiling as if he had anticipated every move. You think this is a choice? He said. No, it's a test. And only one of you will pass. Cole's heart pounded. Elara's hand found his again. The red tunnel loomed ahead, promise and threat intertwined. Cole swallowed hard. We jump together, no matter what. Elara nodded. The father stepped closer, the brother lingered behind, and the unknown force controlling the chamber seemed to hum louder, almost alive. Cole took a deep breath. Then, the floor beneath them began to collapse. And in that instant, with the tunnel gaping below and enemies closing in, Elara screamed, not in fear, but in defiance. Cole tightened his grip. They jumped, and the world vanished beneath them. Cole and Elara plummeted through the red-lit tunnel, their bodies twisting in the air, hearts hammering. The wind screamed past them like a living predator, the collapsing floor above sending showers of debris that burned past their skin. Elara's hand never left Cole's. "Together," she whispered, teeth clenched against fear. The bottom came suddenly. The tunnel opened into a cavernous underground chamber, walls lined with steel and pipes, and a pool of water stretching to the far end, reflecting the eerie red glow from above. They hit the water hard, plunging into icy depths. Pain shot through their bodies, but Cole pushed them both to the surface. Gasping, coughing, shivering, they looked around. The chamber was empty, almost. Screens blinked along one wall, showing live feeds of city streets, but no human movement. Only silence and something else. A subtle vibration, like the heartbeat of a machine. "Elara," Cole said, gripping her shoulders, "stay close. I don't know what's controlling this place, but we're not alone." From the shadows, the hum grew louder, and a silhouette emerged. It was her father, taller, calmer, more terrifying than ever, walking as if the water were solid beneath his feet. Behind him, the brother appeared, wounds or not, alive and unsettlingly composed. "Elara," her father said softly, voice echoing. "You were never supposed to survive this. But perhaps you've learned enough." Cole stepped in front of her. "Whatever this is, we're ending it. Now." Her brother's eyes met hers. Pain, regret, love, and warning all flickered in that impossible gaze. "You don't understand. If we don't finish this, everyone dies. The city, the world. Your choices are bigger than you think." Elara's pulse raced. "Finish what?" Her father smiled cruelly. "The project. The control. Everything your mother left behind. And you, my daughter, are the final piece." Cole grabbed her hand again. "Elara, listen to me. I don't care about secrets or money or some project. None of it matters if they hurt you. Run with me. Now." For a heartbeat, Elara hesitated. Her father's gaze, her brother's warning, and Cole's desperate sincerity all collided in her mind. Then she made a choice. "Together," she said, echoing Cole. Cole pulled her toward a catwalk that ran along the side of the chamber. Sparks erupted from a control panel as her father lunged for them. Her brother shouted, "Elara!" But she didn't stop. She leapt with Cole onto a suspended cable above the water. The cable shuddered violently. Metal groaned. The chamber seemed to respond, like the very place was alive, angry. Behind them, her father swore, and her brother lunged after them, but the cable gave. Sparks flew, wires snapped, and a massive section of the chamber collapsed into the pool below. Water exploded everywhere. Cole kept running along the swaying cable, dragging Elara with him. Their breaths came in ragged bursts, hearts pounding in unison. At the far end, a vertical shaft opened, a way out. A beam of natural light broke through the darkness, illuminating a ladder carved into the wall. "Climb!" Cole yelled. Elara nodded, her hand tight in his. Together, they scaled the ladder as the underground chamber behind them groaned, twisted, and finally collapsed in a deafening roar. They emerged into the cool night air, the storm above having passed. City lights stretched endlessly around them. For the first time in hours, they were free, or at least alive. Cole turned to her, chest heaving, drenched and bruised. "We made it. Are you okay?" Elara leaned into him, shivering, laughing through tears. "Better than okay. I'm with you." He brushed water from her hair, the corners of his mouth finally relaxing. "I'm not letting anyone hurt you again. Not ever." They embraced, the chaos of the last hours washing over them, leaving only two hearts finally together. But in the shadows, far beneath the city, a faint red glow pulsed where the underground chamber had been. A single screen flickered back to life. And a voice, calm, cold, mechanical, echoed through the ruins. "You survived the first move, but the game is far from over." Cole and Elara looked at each other, instinctively knowing this was only the beginning. The city slept, unaware of the storm still brewing beneath its streets. And above them, the stars blinked like distant witnesses to a love forged in fire, danger, and unrelenting secrets.